Kenny Braitman is a metal artist and Vietnam veteran. Like many of his fellow Marines, Kenny returned home a changed man. But he has lived his life with a metal tougher than iron. And at 75 years old, Kenny isn't done forging solutions to life's toughest problems.
Together, we have to work to the betterment of our species. In some way, I choose to try and build a sense of community through food.
Fearing the potential effects of climate change, Kenny started Edgesville Farm in western Maryland, where he hopes to one day feed an entire community for generations to come.
I have to do something that's beyond me and bigger than me, and the only thing I feel comfortable with and that I know and have some ideas about and the resources for is permaculture.
Permaculture is an approach to agriculture that looks to nature and forests as models to create sustainable and resilient food-producing ecosystems. But it's more than just a farming method.
The three basic covenants, the morals, the values are earth share, people share, and fair share. So care about our planet, care about your fellow person, and care about sharing and distribution so that no one has an advantage over the others.
The Edgesville Permaculture Project will become a self-sustaining food source filled with perennial plants like fruits, nuts, and berries.
I make choices based on using nature as my model and my teacher. What goes with what? And nature teaches me that I need plants of all levels, that I need a variety of different abilities and aspects and properties of all these plants collectively that create this whole that's far greater than the sum of the parts.
Success through diversity isn't just about the plants. It's also about the community of people helping to build Edgesville, like Sierra Reckley and Austin Persons, two ethnobotanists who believe their skills, mixed with Kenny's, will make Edgesville truly bloom.
I'm glad that we found each other because you can't do it alone. A single tree doesn't grow alone in the forest. Like, there's multiple different kinds of trees, and if one tree needs some nutrients or something, the other tree kind of shares. So that's, I think, like what we're seeing in this community is meeting different needs. We all have different strengths, and like putting all of those together and being stronger because of it. One tree can't like survive on its own.
We can grow a lot more food per acre, theoretically, with practically no inputs through this method. All we have to do is be patient and put in the effort up front. This is a way of kind of focusing the successionary process of forest building, but focusing it on human needs where there's a human presence. I don't think anything really makes much more sense than that.
The goal here is to create as much biodiversity as possible. What looks to a lot of people as a very messy, wild area is in fact wild and rich.
It's all still in its infancy, but Kenny is planning for the future, especially when it comes to the uncertainty of climate change.
What I don't know is what our climate's going to be. And so I want to have plants that are drought resistant, that are flood resistant, that are heat resistant, that are cold resistant. Resilience is the answer, whether it's the food forest or the community.
And if there is anyone who knows what it means to be resilient, it's Kenny Braitman. In 1968, after enlisting as a Marine voluntarily, Kenny was stationed at Khe Sanh. The base would become surrounded by 20,000 North Vietnamese soldiers, resulting in one of the bloodiest conflicts of Vietnam, and an act of valor that forever changed Kenny's life.
One of my partners next to me was wounded. He got a piece of shrapnel in his chest, and he knew he was going to die, and he just jumped out of the trench and went running into the enemy, North Vietnamese. When he went down, I went to get him. And as I went to get him, a machine gun took my legs out, and I thought I tripped. And so I tried to get back up and couldn't. When I looked down, I saw what happened. I crawled to Gary and put him on my back and started to crawl back to the lines with Gary on my back, and a mortar round hit me just back behind me, and it blew everything off, including Gary.
Kenny would spend the next year in a military hospital, getting used to his prosthetics and fighting infections. And while it would have been easy to give up, instead, this sparked Kenny to devote himself to serving others. And after his time in the hospital, he became a counselor and advocate for veterans, a college dean, and now a farmer fighting climate change for the next generation, inspiring those who he hopes to empower.
He has to put in extra effort and fight against more challenges in order to do this work. And it just makes me feel like I don't have any excuse not to.
If I'm disabled in certain ways, as we all are disabled, just some in ways that I don't see, the question is, should that stop me, or should I find another way to do what I feel needs to be done? And what has guided me is that if I can help others, we all rise.
Thanks for watching Maryland Farm and Harvest. We hope you liked the video. Make sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos. To learn more about our show and watch full episodes, check out mpt.org/farm or just click the link in the description.